Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kathy Houchins Stories. And guess what? I'm Kathy Houchins. I'm glad you're here and welcome. So glad you found me, and I hope you come back and visit often. I just want to tell you about my story and my journey in writing the Sisterhood Chronicles. It's a case of where I used that. Let me tell you the story of how it began. I was living with kidney failure. I was on dialysis for 3 days a week. Dialysis is debilitating at the first part. It's even worse the longer you're in it. At least it was for me, and that's a treatment I totally hated. So I just want to tell you was my life was pretty bleak because all I could live with was I really couldn't do much of anything because 3 days of the week I was really kind of wiped out. And then I would have doctor's appointments and blood work, and it was always some medical thing or medical restrictions that kept me kind of isolated. So I ended up being stuck at home a lot, and it was getting darker and darker by the day for me. And then COVID hits. It makes it even worse. There's no bonding or getting friends together, even if they wanted to come over and visit me, because my immune system was so weak and nobody wanted to get sick and everybody was exposed and nobody wanted to go anywhere and I couldn't go anywhere. My doctors restricted me to home and dialysis. That was it. And doctor appointments, period. So it was a terrible, terrible time. So I said, I've got to do something to overcome this. So I sat down one day and said, what can I do? How can I get over? I'm stuck here at the house. So I decided, I sat down at my computer and said, I'm just going to write a story. I have no idea what the story is going to be. I have no outline. I have no thought process. I have nothing to figure out where I'm going with it. So I just started typing. And the story happened. It was what I will call my escape. It was a way that I could get away. I could create things outside, away from those dialysis machines and away from the medical restrictions. And I just escaped into that story. I stayed in my office, sitting down at my desk, typing at that computer. And that's all I did. That's all I wanted. And I got book one done and then book two done. And I was moving right along and I'm feeling really good about myself and got book one published. And then I got book two, it was nearing completion. And it was at the publishers and getting ready to be released. And guess what? I have a heart attack and have to have open heart bypass surgery, quadruple bypass surgery with valve replacement. Well, let me tell you, that is no fun episode at all. It was nothing that I really was excited about because, trust me, I lost 2 weeks in the hospital. People came and were there in my room, and I had no idea they were there. I even accused one of my friends of saying, well, so-and-so was here when they brought me the paperwork for the surgery, and she said, no, that was me. And I went, no, it wasn't. I'm arguing with them. But anyway, it happened. I finally woke up after an ICU and I had to spend about a month in the hospital trying to get through recovery of that. As you can tell, I'm no spring chicken, so it took me a little while longer than some of the others. But I did get out of there. And the hardest part was going to dialysis after that and trying to do cardiac rehab and all of that together. It was overwhelming. So I was so thankful to have my stories. They were saving my mental attitude totally, because I would just escape. I'd just get into them and start reading them. And then I started selling some of the first books, and people were loving the story, and it pleased me because he said, I want book two. When's book three coming? I really need to know about that. And I said, okay, well, I'm working on it. So I got back to writing. And I finished book three, finished book four, and finally finished book five. And it got launched and published in December of 24, just last December. And so I took that, I forgot to tell you that the first book, when I finished it, was over 800 pages. And so I thought, nobody's got the time to read an 800-page massive book. So I broke it down into 5 books. That made it so much easier for people to read because you could read a book in a night, in a day. Go to the beach. We go to the beach here in Florida, but wherever you're at, if you go to the lake or go to the cabin in the mountain or whatever, wherever your escape is, or even if it's just in your bedroom or your den or your living room, wherever nobody's around, and curl up on the couch and grab that book and it's raining outside. It's nothing better sitting down with a good story, getting lost in it, and you can read it and come to the end. The difference is in these stories, each book leaves some questions to be answered because you don't get all the information. You don't get it until the 5th book. And that was done intentionally so it could be all pulled together of how it happened. The first 4 books were actually broken down for each 4 of the sisters that are involved. These are 4 women, probably late 30s, early 40s, who grew up in this town together. Their names are Bella, Eleanor, Luna, and Evie. And they all have a reason to be tied together. They don't know it at the beginning of what brought them together like that since 4th grade in school. And they have just always been there. But in their teens, they started noticing some special talents that they had. They've been gifted with things that some of us normally don't have any idea how to produce. And they do it without thinking about it. And it's an amazing thing what happens when the 4 of them come together and they get together and they circle and they hold hands, and that's called a gathering. And when you have experienced the first gathering, which you will, the first gathering takes place in book 1, and you'll get to meet Bella and everybody involved in that gathering, which are these 4 sisters and some other people. And you'll understand what that means. It's quite a ritual. So I'm very excited for you to be exposed to that. So now with book 5 done and everything out there, I decided to also put them together, all 5 books together in a hardcover. So if you wanted to keep them all together, they're one right after another. So you can buy them now. I'm through writing them, so you don't have to wait for me to come up with the next book. So what I'd like you to do, if this story speaks to you at all, I would love it if you would decide to pick the books up, either read them along with these episodes or read them all at once and be ready with questions, because I'll look at the questions that you put down below and I'll answer them as best as I can to you directly or through the next episode that I put up. I'll look at it and see if there's something there I can add, or I'm going to put, here's the Q&A for episode 1 or episode 4 or whatever. Some questions were asked, and I think that it's important that I give those answers. So that's going to be important for you to do. So if you want to read them, it's up to you, however you want to do it. But I will take each book and bring it to life. There will be 2 episodes for each book. Half in the first episode, second half in the next episode. And they will tell, the first half will be telling kind of the background of how the character was developed, what her strengths are, where she comes from, what her pillar is, what drives her, what motivates her, what makes her do some of the things that she does, how her family is, just kind of give you a general background of her life. And then how some of the behind the scenes stuff that myself as a writer will look at and say, oh, I want to make her do this, or I want to make her do that. And that's the joy of it. You know, you get to make those decisions on behalf of somebody else, even though that character becomes really real when you're writing it. So you sit in their shoes, or at least I do. I can't speak for all the writers, but for me, I do. And anyway, this is how you get the books. The books are easy to get on Amazon, aren't they all? You know, so if you can go to Amazon, or you can go to Kindle Books. The Amazon is the paperback and Kindle is the ebooks. I'm in the process of doing audios, so they'll be on audios. I am going to try something different and see how it works, but there's an opportunity for me to clone my voice so I don't have to sit there and read through them all. But I'm going to try it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't sound right, then I'm going to turn around and just do them myself. So hang in there. I'll let you know. Hopefully by the end of these series, there's going to be 12 of them in all that relate to the sisterhood. Then I can tell you, and I'll announce that all the audiobooks are done and you can get those if you like them as well. And so everything's on Amazon, Kindle. It's also on Barnes and Noble. And who else am I thinking? There's somebody else. But anyway, and then the big 5 books put together hardback is on lulu.com. That's because Amazon won't do what I wanted to do with this particular book. And so you just go to lulu.com and just type in Sisterhood Chronicles, The Journey, and it'll go right to that book. And it's very easy, and they ship it right to you. So it's pretty easily done. And also, just in case you're wondering what to do, I have a website that's been put up. However, it's got to be updated and changed. There's a lot of things that need to get done with it. So we're still working on that. It's available, though. You can go out there and take a look at it and get some previews of the first 4 books, I believe. The 5th book's not on there. And it's kathyhouchinsstories.com. So it's all kind of tied together. So kathyhouchinsstories.com. And I'm also going to have the books available for sale on there. That's one of the things they're setting up for me so that you can just go right to my website and buy, not have to go to Amazon and all of that stuff. And the reason for that is I'm doing it for me because I don't have to allow my readers to have to, they don't realize they're paying it, but they are paying a fee for it. This way, if you buy from me, you just pay the price that I'm going to put on there, and that's it. And then I'll take care of the shipping and the other stuff. So anyway, that's just kind of where I'm at, and I want to make it as available as possible. I'd love to hear where you're from. Tell me where you're from and if this kind of story interests you. I will tell you I am working on my 2nd series, and I have book 1 done and book 2 done because I'm not going to release them until I can do all 3 at the same time. And book 3 is just an outline form. I've discovered I've got to use an outline, and I've got to have the basis, keep everything together. And this one's in a little different genre, but it still has some mystery and intrigue to it. But I'll tell you about that later. This is about our Sisterhood Chronicles. So for that, I'm going to end this for now, and I want to see you back here in 2 weeks when you come back here. This is airing on August 14th, so the next one will be August 28th. Set your calendars, come back, or check on Facebook. I announce all kinds of extra stuff on there. So good. Have a great day, and thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know below. Thank you. Bye-bye.